Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to International Islamic University Islamabad School's Sahiwal Campus online lectures. This is the lecture of Grade 4 English, Unit number 1, Realistic Story, and the title is Rushing River. Dear students, we already have done 2 lectures of this unit. In the first lecture, we covered the reading and explanation of the content of the story. I have given the meanings of difficult words from the story and you have written those meanings in your classwork notebooks. I hope you all understood the content of the story. In the second lesson, we started the exercise of this unit. First part of this exercise was question answers. You have written the answers of questions in your classwork notebooks and some questions were given you as your homework. I hope you all have done your homework. You have given the homework in 2 parts. First part was from questions from student's book and the second part was from a page of workbook. Workbook exercises were to be filled on the workbook page. I hope you all have done that. Okay, this is the lecture number 3 of unit number 1. We will come to the next section of exercise of this unit and the next section is language. Dear students, in your English students book, every lesson in its exercise has a part named language. In this part, we cover the grammatical topics extracted from the lesson and today's lesson we will cover the language grammatical portion of this unit. And the subtopics are nouns and verbs. Before we begin, make sure that you have your English students book, English classwork notebook and your complete stationery with you. Listen to the teacher attentively and write down the stuff asked by me in your notebook. And if you find anything difficult, anything that you don't understand, just note out and wait for the discussion session. Okay, dear students, please open your English students book, page number 8, where the language part starts. Write down date and day, mention classwork on the top of this page. Open your English classwork notebook and prepare a classwork page by writing date and day on the top of the page. Topic is realistic story and the subtopic is language. Okay, dear students, first of all, let me explain that what is a noun. Do you know what is a noun? I hope you all have learnt about nouns in your grade 1, 2 and 3. Now just let's brief look upon noun. That what is a noun? It is a word that indicates any person, place or thing. Any word that indicates, that presents the name of a person, place or thing, that's called noun. For example, Amna, Pakistan, chair, these all are nouns. Dear students, look around you. You can find too many nouns around you. For example, book, pencil, you yourself. What's your name? My name is Sana. So I have found here a noun, Sana. Besides you, there may be your mum. So mum is another noun. So there are too many nouns around you. There are too many places. There are too many things, too many persons. Every word that describe, that indicate, that express any person, place or thing is called a noun. I hope you all have understood. Dear students, you have prepared your classwork page. Just write down the definition and examples of noun in your classwork page. Okay, come to the types of noun. There are too many types of noun. The major 2 types are proper noun and common noun. What is a proper noun? A proper noun is a noun denoting the name of individual person, place, or thing. For example, dear students, we have taken 3 examples in our previous slide that nouns are, for example, Amna, Pakistan, chair. Dear students, is Amna the name of a person? Yes, Amna is the name of an individual person. So this is a proper noun. Pakistan. Is Pakistan a name of a place? Yes, Pakistan is an individual place. So this is also a proper noun. Chair. Is chair the name of something? Individual? No, chair is not the name. So this is not a proper noun. Okay, let's have some other examples. Amna, Pakistan, principal office. Dear students, if we write here office, office is a noun because it's a place, but it's not a proper noun. But when we specify principal office, this is an individual office in the whole school, so this will become proper noun. Write down the title proper noun and write its definition and examples in your classwork notebook. You are not required to draw this as a chart or draw these lines. Just write down the topic and its explanation and its examples. Okay, now come to the common noun. What is a common noun? A noun denoting the group of objects or of a concept. For example, we have taken an example, chair. That was not a proper noun. That what type of noun is it? Yes, this is a common noun because there are too many chairs in a class, there are too many chairs in school, there are too many chairs in a house and everywhere. Chair is not the specific name of any individual chair, any specific chair. Chair word describes about the all chairs, so this is a common noun. Here are some other examples like chair, school, girl. Let's look into the word school. Does it describe any specific school? There are too many schools in your town, in your city. But if we specify it, the IIUI school, it will become the proper noun. But the word school is a common noun. Next, girl. Girl is a word that describes, that denotes the group of something, group of girls. Girl mean any girl, it can be any girl. But if we say Amna, it means the specific, the individual Amna. And Amna is a proper noun, but girl is a common noun. I hope you all have understood. So write down a subtopic common noun, then its definition and its examples. I again saying that don't draw a chart or don't draw the arrows or lines like I have drawn. I just have drawn these to explain you people that these are the types of nouns. Okay, now come to the types of common nouns. There are too many types of common nouns, but here in our lesson we are only discussing about 4 types. First one is abstract noun, next concrete noun, next uncountable noun, next collective noun. Okay, now let me explain it. Abstract noun. This is the type of noun that you cannot perceive your 5 senses. What does this mean? This means that the name of any object or any concept that you can't touch, you can't perceive with your senses. We can't see it, we can't touch it, we can't smell it. These are called abstract nouns. What type of nouns are those that we cannot see or we cannot touch or we cannot smell? What type of are these? Some examples are given here. For example, happiness. Dear students, happiness It's a noun. It is the name of a concept. It describes a concept, an idea, or a feeling. But can you touch happiness? Can you see happiness? Can you smell it? No, you cannot perceive it with your five senses. So, this type of nouns are called abstract nouns. Courage. Can you touch courage? No. So, this is a abstract noun. Grudge. Someone has grudge in their heart. Can you touch it? It's a feeling. You cannot touch it. So, this is called the abstract noun. There are too many abstract nouns. For example, hunger, sight. Can you see someone hungry? Can you see hunger in someone? No, it cannot be touched. It cannot be perceived with your five senses. So, this type of nouns are called abstract nouns. Just write down the definition of abstract noun and its examples in your classwork notebook. Now come to the concrete noun. These type of nouns are that you can touch or feel with your five senses. Any object, anything. For example, chair, pen, Annie. Annie is a name of a girl. Like in the previous slide, we have taken the name Amna. Here we are taking Annie. You can take any name. Board. It can be whiteboard or it can be blackboard. It can be any board. This is the thing that you can touch. So the name of the things or places or persons that you can touch, you can perceive with your hand. These are called concrete nouns. Next is uncountable noun. This type of nouns are those which cannot be counted, which are not individual objects but the groups, but the let's take some examples. You can understand from these examples. Milk. Dear students, there is a glass in a milk. Can you count it? There is a 2 milk. No. Yes, it can be measured but can't be counted. This type of nouns are uncountable nouns. Snow. There is a snow falling. You are standing, suppose you have gone to Murray and there is the snow is falling. Can you count it? 1 million snow is falling. Can you say it? No, you can't. Similarly, rain. Can you count the rain? Can you count the Milky Way, the stars, the money, where there is written money? Only word money. You can't count it. Okay. Next, come to the collective noun. This is the type of noun that express a group of objects as whole. For example, group. The word group is called collective noun. For example, audience. When you say audience, how many are these in an audience? There are too many. You can't count. You can't specify any one object. Audience means a group of people that are viewing, that are watching something. Okay, next, band. Band is a group. Band, you can say band is a group of music band. It can be any band. It's a group. So this word is called collective noun. Family. In a family, there are family is a group of some members living as a family. This is called collective noun. There are too many other collective nouns. It can be crew, the herd, the flock of birds. These all are collective noun. I hope you all have understood. Just write down the names, their definition and their examples in your classwork notebook. Okay, now open your English students book, page number 8, where the language noun starts. Come to the exercise 1 and its statement is find 6 nouns in this paragraph. Dear students, here a paragraph is given and you are required to find 6 nouns from it. Let's start reading this paragraph and find out the nouns. The water was brown and swirling. Yes, I have found a noun. Water. Back to reading. higher than he had ever seen. Enormous branches were being carried along like boats. Branches is another noun. Boats, noun. Okay. Bilal gazed as old tires, a shopping cart, and what looked like a whole tree rushed by. Here I have found water, branches, boats, Bilal, tires, carts, tree. These all are nouns. Write down these nouns in your classwork notebook. Okay, now come to the exercise 2 of language noun. The statement is find 4 proper nouns in the story Rushing River. What are the proper nouns, dear students? Yes, these are the nouns that indicate an individual. So, in this story, we have found Mum, Bilal, Dad, Mr. Singh. These 4 are proper nouns in this story. Write down the solution of exercise 2 in your classwork notebook. Okay, the second section of language. Verbs. What are verbs? I hope you all know what does verb mean. Yes, this is an action word. This is the verb that describes any action. For example, walk, talk, speak, play. Any action is called verb. Write down the examples in your classwork notebook. Now come to the page number 9 from your student's book, where the exercise of verbs is given here. Come to the exercise 1. Find 4 verbs in the paragraph 2 of Rushing River. Okay, dear students, you are required to go back to the story on page number 6, the Rushing River, and read out the paragraph 2. And it starts from it had been raining all night. And you are required to find 4 verbs in this second paragraph. Let's read it. It had been raining all night. Raining, it is also a verb. Write it down. Bilal knew that the river was close to bursting its banks. Here, knew, it's the past form of know. So, this is also a verb. In the dry season, the river was small enough to jump over, but in the rainy season, it grew into a raging monster. Okay, here jump is another verb, and in last line of this paragraph, the word grew is another verb, which is the past form of grow. Write down the solution of exercise 1 in your classwork notebook. Okay, dear students, this is the end of today's lecture. Now come to the homework. Students book page number 9. Dear students, we have done exercise 1 as our classwork, and now exercise 2 is to be done as your homework, and this exercise is to be done on your book. You are not required to prepare your homework page for this exercise. This can be done in your book. You are just required to fill the blanks with some verbs. You can take these verbs from the story, or you can take these verbs of your own. You can use any verbs that are suitable for this paragraph or for these sentences. Okay, secondly, open your English workbook, page number 3. Here, 2 exercises are given, exercise 3 and 4. Dear students, in exercise 3, you are required to write down 3 verbs for each sentence. For example, here an example is given that we dash through the deep puddles. Here 3 verbs are used for the same thing: splashed, waded, stamped. You can splash through the deep puddles, you can wade through the deep puddle, you can stamp through the deep puddle. So here you are required to write down 3 verbs for each sentence. For example, second, watch out, Jahangir. What did you think? What did Jahangir do here? Of course, he called out, he shouted. So you can write here shouted, yelled, cried. I have given 2 as examples. Now next you are required to do and come to the exercise 4. Use the correct form of verb to finish each of these sentences. Here 5 sentences are given and you are required to fill in the blanks with the correct verb by picking from the bracket. I hope you all have understood that what is required to be done. So get your homework done by the next lesson and follow the given instructions properly. Note down the thing if you find anything difficult and wait for the discussion session. Good luck, dear students. This is the end of lesson. Allah Hafiz.